Not gonna be a victim of gravity. Maybe in Team Ninja, maybe in Sekiro, maybe in Dark Souls, but not in this. Okay, let's get back on the horsey. Let's see how much of a damage decrease this armor provides. Because I feel like this is going to give me a fundamental understanding of the way the combat works, and it's going to be a little bit less pressuring, and it's going to be a little bit less harsh. So, like, I feel like I might be able to, like, learn the combat and adapt to the different mechanics. Like, now that I understand exactly how the parry is, like, worked into the combat, and how the, like, combat is orchestrated, it's a little bit easier. Like, you saw me taking out, like, 4, 5, 6 Mongolians at a time, like, no issue. Like, now that I understand that you're supposed to block the first swing so you can set up the rhythm for the second parry or whatever, or the deflect, so you can, like, knock them off balance, is so much easier than trying to react to every single little individual thing. It's just, in certain circumstances, in certain instances, it's not as easy to do as you'd think it is. And admittedly, that might be me playing like shit, that might be me not knowing what the fuck I'm talking about, or what I'm doing, or whatever, because I haven't spent enough time with the game yet. Like, that's to be expected, so, like, the punishment for dying is, like, literally nothing. Like, they literally just respawn you with the same shit that you had when the combat section initiated, so it's, like, it's not really a big detriment at all. And, like, the load time is instant-fucking-taneous, so there's really no gripes from my end. Did that guy just try to kick a bear? That makes sense. What is this guy? Bloody battle was fought in this place. Wasn't a battle I was a part of. Enter Legends mode, you will lose any unsafe progress. No, I think I'm good. Oh, shit. That guy has a battle axe. Oh, fuck. Oh, come on, bring it on, Tubby. I want to see how the battle axe works. Okay, there's more. Oh, they shoot flares and shit, too. Where the fuck is my horse, dude? Hey, horse, can you fucking... Okay, what is the point of calling the horse if the horse is just gonna fucking run away from me when I call it? Thanks, Chief. Like, I get it, there's Mongolians. I'm scared, too. That's why I'm trying to call you to me, asshole. That's like at the end of a Resident Evil game and the factory's blowing up, but instead of Jill Valentine coming to rescue you or whatever, you're just fucked. Like, you're like, hey, can a brother get a hand? And she's like, no, I don't think so. This game is fucking gorgeous, though. It's beautiful as shit. I'm looking for more Mongolians to fight where the odds aren't, like, entirely overwhelming. Yeah, ran away from getting flared. Like, if the horse responds naturally to the environment, like thunder crashes and stuff like that, I think that's gonna be really cool. Oh, okay. This is a place with a Mongol leader. I don't know if I'm well equipped enough for Mongol leaders yet, because I haven't done any upgrades. I don't have any resolve. The horse doesn't want to dive in a steep valley? Yeah, no wonder. Might be Mongolians down there and shit. Like, a 300-foot fall is one thing. You can bounce back from that. John Sekiro does it all the time. If that fucking chasm is filled with Mongolians, however, might be a little bit rougher of a time, I think. Thank you guys for being here, by the way. Like, this is a crazy attendance stream for me, so, like, thank you all so much for being here. These pigs kind of scare me, too, because I don't know what they're capable of yet. Like, the Mongolians, I expect, like, a little bit of bullshit, but, like, the pigs, I don't know. What's going on here? Oh, this looks battle-ravaged. Maybe there's goodies and supplies if the Mongolians didn't steal them all. Or is this where the dudes were? This might be where the dudes were. I might have just done, like, a giant 180 on myself, maybe? But it's cool, because if there is stuff up here that the Mongolians haven't gotten to, maybe I can come and nick it and pillage it before they get to it. What's up, pussies? Don't do a battle cry yet. The fucking duel hasn't started, Chief. Uh-huh. Get a motherfucker. Stupid idiot. Okay, Arrow Man. That's fine. Okay, you're first. Okay, that damage difference is actually quite good. Okay, so this does work how I thought it would. They input read. That's exactly what they do. If you go for the first strike, they input read you like a motherfucker. And that's what triggers their aggro to go. What? No, Chief, I was holding L like a bitch. Oh, can you not block arrows? Maybe you can't block arrows. I thought you could. Maybe you can't. Interesting. I mean, that makes sense. Like, being able to block a sword is like a really big physical object. So, like, if you're, like, skiving a sword off of your sword, that makes sense. If you're trying to block an arrow, like, what's the likelihood that the arrow is actually going to bounce off your blade, right? So I guess that makes sense if you can't block arrows in this game. Okay, I feel like this is going to be a lot easier. Once I get a lot of resolve, and, like, wearing this armor set, I don't think this is going to be anywhere near as difficult as it has been. Not that it's been overwhelmingly, crushingly brutal. Buffered the parry from an active attack animation? Yeah, exactly. That's what I was doing with all the enemies before. So, like I said, like, when you first initiate or whatever, if you go into a strike or whatever to bait your enemy into a swing, that's kind of how you want to do it. So, like, if you do an attack or whatever and bait your enemy into a swing, you can block the first swing with your L, and then you can, like, set up another L input right after a block ends to be able to parry their secondary swing. And that's what I've been doing. So, like, when I play a game like this for the first time, especially one that's inherently skill-based, I like to study, like, the way the combat is structured and the way that it works. That way, like, when I play something and I complain about something not working, it doesn't sound like I'm making up bullshit, because I can actually explain exactly what I'm experiencing. Because, like, I've had a lot of that before, where, like, I'll complain about the way a video game does something, and people will be like, I don't have that problem, and I'm like, then you're fucking blind. Like, I'm sorry, like, I don't know what to tell you, but, like, no game is made perfect. You know, like, every game has, like, its blemishes or whatever. Like, you don't expect a game to be made perfectly. It's fucking impossible. But there are good games that stand above the cut and can proudly, like, shout that they are good. Like, with the way they're structured and the way they do things and the way they tackle things. And, like, I've grown ever so more critical of games in recent years because I have tempered myself down to be able to, like, mesh with them and, like, understand them and give them their due respect and the due diligence to understand the way they're structured and the way they work. And, like, the way the mechanics flow with the combat of the game. And, like, what they had envisioned for the game's combat to, like, be. And, like, where I feel like they failed and where they could use improvement, what they did right, what they did wrong. Stuff like that. Oh, this is another place with a Mongol leader, isn't it? Oh, shit. I'm in, like, deep-ass Mongol territory. Okay. See, like, I'm incensed to do all this stuff, but I know I'm not equipped enough to be able to do it right now, and that's what's kind of driving me away from all these kind of combat challenges. If I had, like, 5 things to resolve, sure. You know, if I had a little bit more room for error, sure. But, like, I don't think a DLC armor is gonna keep me from, like, getting cucked every fucking 5 seconds. Gotta be critical or you won't know a design decision is seen as bad good. Well, it's like, if I'm not as critical as I am, I can't appreciate the good shit that I play, you know, within the mediocre shit that I play. Like, I don't want to be able to just, like, view everything from, like, one-dimensional plane and be like, oh, this is a game, this is a game, this is a game, this is a game. I want to be able to, like, have picks that, like, stand above the cut, and, like, games that I respect for being really, really good games. Like, compared to a lot of the other shit that I play. Like, I just got through with Tormented Souls, and I thought it was a really good survival horror, but, like, they had, like, certain mechanical limitations and things that I didn't like. There were certain mechanical things that I didn't understand at the time that I had played it, that I didn't get until later in the game. But, like, it's a very good game with the way it's structured, and, like, the way they, like, expect you to go about it. It's just, I have minor gripes with it. Namely, the camera enemies being able to aggro you while, like, off camera, and, like, do things that you can't see. The dodge not having enough of an evade distance to get out of certain attacks. And coming out of doorways and getting struck before you can initiate any sort of action is kind of bad. But, like, people seem to think that I only do this with games of a challenging nature, and I do it with, like, everything I play. And, like, it's kind of weird. I don't know, it's funny to me. Because, like, people have this weird inherent idea, like, they have this belief that I'm very bad at skill-based games. And, like, I do play like shit sometimes, admittedly. But I'm also, like, much better, like, and I'm much more adept than the average person, I think. But, like, I'm self-critical. And, like, that's something nobody has ever done me the due justice of. Is because, like, people only hear when I bitch, right? Because, like, people think it's funny when I get pissed at video games or whatever. Because they're like, oh, he's, like, really mad. Like, it's funny. Like, he's you know, lost his temper or whatever. It's like, I have a certain amount of patience. So, like, if I'm trying to deal with something and I get a little bit of bullshit, I'm like, okay, game. Okay, game. But, like, once I get to that tipping point, then I'm kind of like, game, what the fuck, dude? I'm kind of like, hello? Like, what the fuck, man? And then, like, I get to the stage where I'm kind of just like, this game is fucking dog shit. And, like, that happens with Neo quite a lot. That's why you don't see me playing Neo as much recently. Is because, like, that is the only game that I've ever played where, like, have you ever listened to a song and it sounded like it's at a certain BPM, and then you listen to it again at a later date and it sounds like it's faster or slower? Neo does that to me with inputs. Like, so sometimes I have input fluidity in chemistry where, like, everything is rolling through naturally. And then there's other times where it feels like it's disjointed and lackluster in pace and, like, everything, like, is skewed and doesn't make sense. And, like, I don't know what the fuck causes it. I don't know if it's tied to frame rate. I don't know if it's due to performance. I don't know if it's, like, controller issues. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, I don't know what to chalk it up to. But, like, Neo is complex as a combat engine, but once you know it, you know it. So, like, when you input a certain chain of commands, you expect a certain result. So when you don't get that particular result that you expect, then it becomes a little bit silly, and you're kind of just like, what the fuck? You know? So, like, funny story. My friend Carson was playing DS3 for the first time when the Ring City first dropped. And he got to the Demon Prince. And I was going through the DLC for my first time. And I got to Demon Prince. And he was like, this is where I'm stuck at. And I was like, alright, bet. And I was doing it on my New Game Plus 7 character because I was too lazy to make an entirely new character to go to the DLC with. So I was doing it on my NG Plus 7 character. I beat the Demon Prince in 3 tries. And he was on it for hours. Like, hours and hours and hours. And me beating it so quickly motivated him to get back on and do it. And he did it, like, shortly after I did it. But, like, he was astonished that I did it in 3 tries. And I'm like, well, it wasn't really that bad. The only bad thing is, like, the Meteor Strike. The Meteor Strike and the fucking laser bullshit that, like, the, like, final Demon Prince can do is a little bit wacky. Like, it can be a little bit wacky, I think. How big is your group of Mongolians? That's quite a big group of Mongolians. Not gonna lie. Oh, nature helps you. That's bullshit, dude. I input a dodge right there, and it just did not read my dodge at all. Okay, it seems like nature only goes after them. That's interesting. I thought it'd be like an open board. Okay, I definitely like it that when I kill enemies, I regain a little bit of health. That's most agreeable. It's not an extreme amount of health, but it's like, it's good enough. Okay, this guy has like a little parry buckler. Okay. I see what you're doing. Dude, like, see, like, right there, man. I know I input circle again. I know I did. I read the first red. I expected him to do a second red, much like in Wolong, when you do a boss or whatever. And then in phase 2, they have a second red follow-up or whatever. That's what I expected, but, like, it didn't do my second circle. That time I circled too late. That's understandable. Like, I know what I did wrong right there. I circled way too late. Like, that's fine. Okay, I can't see. Like, right dude, I know he does 2 circles, Chief. I'm sorry, I know he does 2. I'm pressing circle again, and it's just not doing shit. I don't know what the fuck that shit was, but okay. Oh, is that meter their posture? It must be, huh? Yes, it is. Okay, that's what that meter is. I've been trying to figure that out. Okay. Where you at, dickhole? Where'd he go? Fucking pussy. See, like, I don't like that guy because I know I'm inputting 2 circles. I'm reading the first red, and then I'm reading the second red. And it's like, it will take the first one, but it won't take the second one. And I don't know if it's because, like, I'm going into the animation to, like, hold block just in case I miss time. Or, like, it's trying to register a new action, and it's not giving me the window to be able to initiate a new one. But, like, that was kind of bad. Because, like, I don't feel like I was doing anything wrong on that guy. There was one time where I did an improper action that I should have gotten punished for, and I did, and it made sense. Because, like, I don't expect myself to play perfectly all the time, because I'm obviously not going to. I'm brand new to the game, I don't know how the combat works, like, I'm trying to figure it out as I go. But I hate that bosses get to have phases in Souls where it's already hard enough to go through a single phase without huge damage on your hands to skip it fast. But I really like phases with the single health bar instead of multiple bars. See, I actually like bosses with new phases. Especially bosses that have, like, a very watered-down moveset to begin with, and then they expand upon those movesets. But your conditioning from, like, the first half of the fight helps you with the second half. Bosses like that. Ishin, for example. Ishin is the best boss that FromSoft has ever made. And I will die on that hill. Like, the conditioning from first phase absolutely helps you with attacks from the second phase, and the third phase improves upon that even more so. And then phase 3 has lightning that you can reflect at him or whatever to make the third phase easier, so it's, like, actually better. Like, second phase is the hardest phase that Ishin has, and it's not even that bad if you understand how it works and you learn it. But, like, Ishin's first phase, as much as I hated Ishin when I first fought him, he grew to be my favorite boss, because it's literally just learning how he works. It's learning to read his follow-ups and stuff like that. So, like, every time he pushes you back in phase 1, he will follow up with the thrust, so you know to Makiri it. You know absolutely, like, 100% certainty he's going to follow up with the Makiri every single fucking time. So, like, he's a very, very good boss. It feels like he's made very structurally well, and, like, his reputation precedes him, and he's a good fight. For example, like, I've played Elden Ring. So, like, Elden Ring, when I get around to playing it, is not going to be blind, but I haven't played it in fucking forever. I haven't played it in, like, 9 or 10 months. So, like, I'm not going to remember where certain things are. I'm not going to remember where certain weapons are, certain spells, certain items, like, whatever. I'm not going to remember, like, what boss encounters are where, or in what dungeons, or whatever. So, like, Elden Ring, I've tried to preserve as much as I possibly can, despite having it be, like, an unblind playthrough. But I'm trying to get to Elden Ring when Shadow of the Erdtree drops, so while everybody else is running DLC, I can run base game. And then by the time everybody gets done with DLC, I'll be moving on to DLC. And I also don't know if I'm going to have a job by then, so, like, Elden Ring is probably going to be a very big investment, much like this game will be. But I'm looking forward to Elden Ring, but, like, the way the Elden Ring was structured is, like, with From Software's input delay, it seems like certain, like, combinations of attacks from enemies, like, leave you with absolutely no way to get around them, and I kinda hate that. Like, some of the attacks are just straight up fucking wacky. Like, you know when you fight the Blackblade Kindred, and he's sitting there spinning his axe and doing 15 tornado spins or whatever, and you're just like, how the fuck do they expect me to dodge this shit? Like, it's just, like, some of the attacks are stupid. Like, Dark Souls games have always been like, oh, like, I know he's gonna do this jump attack. Okay, wait a few seconds, and then roll. Wait a few seconds, then roll. Wait a few seconds, then roll. Okay, so I think that little glint that I just got there was the last second parry that it was talking about. Much, much easier now. Much, 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 much easier now. Much easier now. I have a theory about From's boss designs. Elden Ring was very off with its enemies and the player character. They actually made the player character worse than DS3, slower in the input delay. Input queue system is awful. Yeah, it's really bad. Like, I'm glad somebody else called it out. So, like, the first instance of that I experienced going into Elden Ring was Crucible Knight. Crucible Knight's Dragon Tail animation, like, when you're coming out of an action and you're trying to input jump or a roll, it won't give you the span of time that you need to be able to input the action. Like, it's like, it will give the edge to him over you, and it's kind of fucking stupid with the way it's structured, and it's kind of bad. And it's very, very big, and it's very, very noticeable, and, like, a lot of people don't notice it. And, like, Elden Ring also has, like, a lot of input lag. So, like, when you input something, it'll take it, like, a good half second to do, like, what you need it to do. So, like, if you're trying to react to something, like, some enemies' animations are just way too fast for them to be reactable. Like, in a good time frame. And, like, it's kind of bullshit. But, like, I like seeing Souls games. Like, I've heard Lies of P is also very good. But I've heard Lies of P is a lot like Sekiro. But, like, once I learned Sekiro was, like, fine. Like, it's not my favorite Souls, but, like, I'm better at games with parry-based nature to them. Because it's more of, like, a rhythmic timing thing, rather than having it, like, left up in the air to whether or not you're going to get, like, a result that's positive. So it feels like it's more dictated by player control. And, like, I like that more. I appreciate that more. So. What is this? What's going on here? Okay, well, I highly doubt I can jump the horse off the fucking cliff. That might be, like, a boss fight, maybe? It looks like a very wide open field, and it's, like, wanting me to, like, dismount or something, so maybe it's something, like, really big like that. Elden Ring is a build Andy game for most people. People just pick the thing that works really well, some weapon art usually. Yeah, it's basically a combination of find the right weapon that'll give you the best result against X boss or whatever, and, like, pair it with whatever art. But, like, I feel like Elden Ring did really good with its open world. And, like, I don't really usually appreciate open world in video games, but I feel like Elden Ring did it really well in certain respects, and it did it very poorly in other respects. Like, the Legacy dungeons reused so many of the same boss so many times to the point where it just got unmotivating to want to do the dungeons. But, like, it was okay. Because, like, it's understandable that it's their first open world game, and of course they're not going to have, like, 800 million different fucking unique assets to use, right? But, like, the things they did reuse, they tried to differentiate them. Like, for example, like, the Magma Worms, or, like, the Dragonkin Warriors. They tried to add unique things to them that stylistically set them apart from their counterparts, and I think that was a good move. But it's just, I would have liked to see more unique individual things from that game, rather than seeing the same thing 40 times in different ways. Same with the Tree Spirits. The Tree Spirits were, like, very, very bland, and I thought they sucked. Base Demon Souls and Dark Souls 1 bosses were very manageable. The fact that Artorias DLC made their own bosses have faster attacks, multi-hits, less recovery, and all that jazz makes me think that from that DLC onwards, players stayed the same regarding their abilities, but the boss got buffed massively in the coming sequels. And I'm sure you won't ever get your turn in the Elden Ring DLC. So, the thing about Elden Ring that I also noticed is that From Software likes to build their designs around player experience. So, like, a lot of the enemies in Elden Ring have very mixed attack patterns. So, like, there's attacks that are very, very fast, there's attacks with, like, a certain amount of delay, and then there's, like, really delayed attacks and shit like that, right? And, like, I thought that was really, really good, because, like, it actually felt like it was genuinely challenging. Like, it felt like all my experience of From Software games had, like, set me up to deal with Elden Ring. And, like, I thought that was very good, like, because, like, the difficulty seemed organic to me. Fucking dick. Alright, come over here, shield man. Wait, are you the big boss? Are you the big boss? You have very fancy armor. Is that arrow guy gonna keep shooting at me? He is, isn't he? Yeah, he is. He just did a call out. Okay. Let's try pussy. Whack. Get out of here, bitch. Eat dirt. Hey, what's up, Spades? How's it going, love? Welcome to Ghost of Tsushima. It's going okay. I'm learning the game. It's a lot of fun. The combat is very, very challenging, but it's very, very rewarding. Except for when you get shot by bow and arrowmen. I'm trying to pull this guy out, but he doesn't seem to want to play nicely. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, do you have multiple follow-ups? Or do you just have the one? Okay. Nice. Easy. That wasn't that bad at all. I thought that was gonna be, like, way worse than that. Your hair looks awesome. I've been meaning to bleach and re-dye my hair. This game is very pretty. Yeah, this game is prettier than my hair, that's for damn sure. I love this fucking game. Did this guy really just sit here and, like, let me fucking walk up to him and slice him in the face? Alright. It's cool. I'll take it. What's up, buddy? Wait, do you do that thing where you, like, kick me off the ladder? Dude, this is really awkward. Can you die, please? Alright. Oh, there's more dudes. Oh, like, this camp is, like, filled with archers. Nice try, bitch. I like how their, like, interval quickens. Like, the closer you get to him, like, the more like, you see that? You see how long it took that guy to lease his arrow? But then he does it really quick because I'm closer procs. I like that a lot. It keeps you on your toes. Like, so you can't just run up to the enemies and overwhelm them with speed. You have to, like, be tactical. When I was playing Elden Ring, I called it when it was my turn game. Only in 1v1, which is almost never. But yeah, like, I love this game a lot. This game's combat is very, very good. Like, now that I kind of understand the basis and, like, the fundamentals of it and, like, what they expect, now it's, like, infinitely more surmountable. Like, now it's, like, way, way, way easier, I think. Like, it's more lenient. It feels like it's more, like, in control. But, like, I definitely like this game. I think it's picturesque. I think it's cinematically gorgeous. Like, this game is just fucking otherworldly in terms of beauty.